Monday morning. We are all back together for a week. Boomer is back with us to talk about what could be the best win of the season for the Mets. There's a couple of candidates, but yesterday's game with the back and forth and the comebacks and the exciting moments and the nail-biting that you had throughout the entire game when you wanted it and you needed it because you saw the Braves actually lost the baseball game to the Houston Astros. This is up there as one of the best regular season wins I can remember in a very long time. The Yankees got one when they desperately needed it. They are still spiraling, but they won on Paul O'Neill Day, so at least stops the bleeding as they head into the Subway Series games against the Mets. Giants played a preseason game last night. We'll get to. Kayvon Thibodeau looks like he's going to be okay. So that was a little bit scary. A ton to get to. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Good morning, G. I'm doing great. Great to be back. And I just, everything's a mess. Like when you're gone for a week and I don't know who sits in this chair. I know Jerry does or Sal may.
I think Jerry usually sits there the entire time.
But there's stuff all over the place. And by the way, this screen is not working. The call screen is not working now. So can you get your ass on this right now and fix this up? I mean, like I would think as a producer of this show that you would have actually been on this right at the beginning. But now that you're not, I see that, you're not paying really much attention to what I need.
I'm firing it up remotely right now.
See that? Okay,
yeah,
good. I like it. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so it's great. Yeah, you did. It's so great to be back. And, here's the thing. That Met win yesterday was amazing for a lot of reasons. Number one, I sent Ronnie a text in the first inning. I'm like, Mercy, please get this guy out of the freaking game. And, Buck Showalter, I guess they just needed length. And the Phillies were exhausted too in their bullpen, and that obviously showed itself. But I mean, this is one of those games where you never expected the team to win, and with the rain delay and with everything else going on, and the doubleheader the day before, it was amazing. And Canna comes through, twice, and this again, Every one of these guys, new guys anyway, has had their moments. And Canna's had a number of moments. Escobar's had a number of moments. Of course, Starling Marte has had a number of moments. We know about Scherzer. These are the special moments that tell you that there's a special season underway.
Yeah, I mean, think about the weekend as a whole as you're going into this series, and you're not going to have DeGrom and Scherzer. You know that you're going to be pitching guys like Trevor Williams, David Peterson, Jose Butto. This is what you're going into this series with. In a team in Philadelphia that's not all that bad, that's chasing a wild card themselves. And then you've got guys coming in like Nate Fisher pitching the way he did. You never heard of the guy in your life. I mean, that is what is the foundation of an incredible season. It's not just the stars. It's not just everybody that's been here. But when you call people up, when you need people in a pinch, when Butto was terrible, but still, you know what I'm saying.
But he hung in there. I know he gave up 2 home runs to Bone, but the thing is that he threw like 100 pitches, in 4 innings. And poor Ronnie and Gary, and I'm sure, Howie and Wayne on the radio were doing the same thing, complaining how long these games are going on for, because those guys are probably exhausted too, but not nearly as exhausted as the players. And I'm sure the mental aspect of the game with Buck Showalter and trying to figure out, who's playing where and what's going on and who we pitch in and what am I going to say to a guy that I've never met before? The whole thing. Yeah. But it goes to show you, how long like a 162 game season is, because a lot has happened in 10 days. The last day I was here, the Jets are getting ready to play a preseason game. And Zach Wilson throws his first interception. He gets hurt, and now he's gone for 4 to 6 weeks, whatever. And I said on the air, I said, this is like Met heaven. The Mets are healthy. Mm-hmm. And then I was reminded on Twitter many times during my time off that I was the one that was the Maloik, and I probably touched the money and all that other stuff.
You did say that a lot before you left.
Well, yeah, because everybody was healthy.
That's right.
And then next thing you know, here come the obliques, here come the groin strains, here come the elbows, here come the shoulders.
Yep.
And it was like 6 guys in a row. And I'm getting banged up. And then, that was an unbelievable series down in Atlanta, though.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great series, even though they lost, the series. But picking themselves up and taking 3 out of 4 from Philadelphia, that was huge. And that game yesterday, man, it was like at the beginning you're saying, man, we're gonna lose like 19-13 or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, so after that Thursday loss where DeGrom ends up losing, he wasn't sharp. The team really couldn't score in that last game. And then you looked at what was ahead with the pitching matchups. You were thinking, man, this could be one of these stretches for them that they haven't had all year long. And the Braves were playing the Astros, so you felt okay about that, but they end up taking 2 out of 3 from them. But they really have never had that swoon where you got really, really nervous. Now, when the Braves came back and were only a half game behind the Mets, it was basically because the Braves were playing at an unreal pace. It's not like the Mets were being, going downhill at all. The Braves were just out of their minds. And when you need them every single time this season, when you need them to win a game, when you're down after the Segura home run yesterday and he throws his helmet off and he's running around the bases and you're thinking, here we go again. And then boom, right in the 9th inning, here's McNeil with a double to lead off the inning. Here's Canna with another home run to take the lead. Here's Nimmo tacking on to give Edwin Diaz a little bit of breathing room in the 9th. He hadn't pitched in 3 days. They always figure out a way. I mean, it's been incredible, and we're here, pushing up against September, and it's been the same story since April. They're relentless.
And, and here come the Yankees and the Dodgers. And, I'll tell you what, I hope they don't play tonight. They could use a day off.
The rain, yeah.
I know they have a day off on Wednesday already scheduled. So call it today, give everybody the day off today, and then you're going to play the Yankees and Dodgers back-to-back.
It's supposed to be raining throughout the night, too. I know throughout the day.
Yes. So I would just say that it would behoove, I think, at least for the Mets. I don't know, the Yankees, the Yankees have gone from having one of the great years, in the midst of having one of the great years of all time, to one of the greatest collapses of all time.
Well, yeah, they're sort of in the midst of it right now. If they would have lost yesterday, that would have been the scariest that it's been for them. I mean, this was after the Aaron Boone slap at the table thing, which I'm sure that you saw on Saturday. They come out and they win on Paul O'Neill Day, but they still have a 7-game lead, which is just unbelievable to think how bad they've played, and they still have a 7-game lead.
Well, it goes to show you how great they played when they were on that trajectory of having that great season, and then all of a sudden their bats have gone cold. I mean, it's amazing to me. Now I know Stanton's going to be coming back sooner or later, and maybe he'll be back for the Mets here, but yeah. It's one player. I mean, and they did make trades, and the trades obviously haven't. Maybe Benintendi's worked out a little bit, but maybe
not until yesterday,
right? But he's still, he still gets on base, and he's still a contact hitter and all those things. But I don't know. The Jordan Montgomery trade was, everybody's flummoxed over that. And what's his name, Montas or whatever the hell his name is, Montas hasn't been worth anything considering what Montgomery's doing with the Cardinals and of course what's his name's doing with Seattle.
Right, Luis Castillo.
So it's amazing to me that if this were in the beginning of the season, I'm telling you, Aaron Boone would have been fired. And it's not because Aaron Boone they're losing, but something has to change. You see what the Phillies did with Joe Girardi.
Yeah, they did early on in the year.
Right, and most teams, like basketball teams will do that, hockey teams will do that. Football teams are less likely to fire like early in the season. They may do it later in the season. Mm-hmm. But baseball, if you get off to a really bad start, let's say your first 60 games and, you're like, you have 15 wins, your guy's going to get fired because something's got to happen in the locker room. Something's got to happen in the dugout. And just because we're this late in the season, nothing's going to happen to Aaron Boone. But, man, I tell you, if they played this way to start the season –
yeah, there would have been a good chance. I mean, I know Brian Cashman has really been patient with Aaron Boone. It doesn't seem like he's ever been ready to move on from him, but that would have been very, very interesting. And we'll see how the season ends up. I mean, I know that Brian Cashman doesn't have a contract after the year. People think that's just a formality. He'll end up coming back. But, I mean, if they collapse to the point where they don't make it out of a postseason series and this trend continues, I mean, then obviously major changes have to be made because of where they came from. I mean, that start may end up changing this organization in the short term, and who the hell knows if Aaron Judge is going to be around either. So by the way, the fans were letting them know yesterday, booing Brian Cashman and booing Hal Steinbrenner.
I was just going to say that I was happy for Paul O'Neill. He's a great guy. He's a great player for the Yankees. He deserves to have his day the way he did yesterday. It was great. And I'm glad the Yankees won in lieu of him getting his jersey retired and having Paul O'Neill Day, which was pretty cool for him. And, he's a pretty funny guy and the way he goes about things. So I was really happy for him. So, the thing about that, though, was it was telling that Hal and Hank Hal, it's not Hank, I'm going to be Stephen A. Smith. Hal and, of course, Brian Cashman got booed. And that tells you that there is now the narrative within the Yankee fan base that these two together are running like some sort of like secondary operation here now.
Yeah, I think that the fans are at the point now where they have had it. They were giving them the benefit of the doubt for a long time, but they have lost 6 series in a row. Something crazy like they've only won 2 series out of the last 14 or something nuts like that, and they're in a full-blown spiral. And by the way, this is about the worst time to run into the Mets. The Mets already swept them once in the 2-game Subway Series, and now the Mets are coming in with potentially Scherzer and then DeGrom. We'll see if DeGrom pitches the second game. We'll see what happens with the weather. But, on top of everything that they have gone through, now the Mets running into that buzzsaw with potentially their 2 best pitchers?
But here's the thing. DeGrom needs to pitch. I don't give a damn what anybody says, especially like today. I think they'll call it off today.
Yeah.
And they'll play the game on Wednesday. So the day off will be for the players today. They'll have to play Wednesday. And DeGrom needs to be on the mound on Wednesday. That's his normal start time. What do we do? Why are we babying him? Does he still need to be babied?
Yeah, I think that they're just so unbelievably extra cautious, but I'm with you. If you're good enough to go out there and pitch, and we didn't see you for a year, and it feels like they held him back and then were really, really cautious, and now he's out there and you need him, he should be pitching every 5th day. I don't understand why we need an extra day, and then on top of that, an extra day because they had Wednesday off. And then pitch him there. It just seems
unbelievable. This guy is like, was he brittle now all of a sudden?
I guess so.
So my thing is that if it's regular rotation, get your ass out there and pitch. And especially now, if today the game is going to be called off, I do believe that. I really do. You see the forecast.
Let's take a look at my Weather Channel app and see what we got going on for the Bronx at about 7 o'clock tonight.
And the Mets bullpen could use a break.
Oh, of course.
Quite frankly, they could use a break.
Yeah. I know it was supposed to rain all day today, but I didn't look past that. Let's see, hourly in the Bronx.
Thunderstorms are dangerous.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 61% at 7 o'clock.
I don't need Scherzer having to sit through another rain delay.
Yeah, that is true.
Ugh.
It's around 50%, 40%, 60% all throughout the night. So we've seen, this summer's been with the rain. It says it's going to rain. It doesn't rain. We're in like a severe drought in certain parts of the area. So who the hell knows if it ends up pouring or not tonight. But, yeah, that would end up being beneficial for the Mets if this game were called tonight.
Yeah, well, I personally hope it is, and I hope that Scherzer goes tomorrow and DeGrom goes on Wednesday. That's what I would expect.
Yeah, do you think that the slap of the table had anything to do with the Yankees winning yesterday?
I just think he's frustrated too. He is obviously also being asked questions about what his players' opinions are.
Yeah.
And one of those opinions from Aaron Judge is like, we're just not really into each other on the bench and all this other stuff.
Well, he said the energy wasn't great in the clubhouse.
Right, exactly. And, could that be because they traded Jordan Montgomery? Could it be because, they have some new faces in there? It's just... Rizzo's finally getting back in, and and Stanton's not there yet. So I don't know. It's amazing how many guys are playing for both of these teams. Like Beatty, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really, he's playing this much?
Yeah. Well, they need him with all the injuries.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's it? Florial.
Yeah.
He's another
Florial.
one.
Yep.
Oswaldo
Cabrera.
He's been great, and he's made a couple great catches.
By the way, he bobbles that ball in that critical situation in the 7th inning with the bases loaded, and Vlad Guerrero hits the ground ball to him. He bobbles it, and Guerrero was not running full speed out of the box in that situation. Was not at all. And that could have been a run for the Blue Jays and taking a lead in a Yankee team that was spiraling. That was a key moment yesterday.
It was like yesterday with Vogel back on second. Like, how come he's not scoring on the McNeil?
Yeah, I don't know. He pulled up into third there. And then didn't they send out the trainer to
Yeah,
take a look at him?
Buck and the
hell's
trainer,
going
and
on?
everybody's out there. And I'm like,
Right.
come on, Biggs, you should be at home.
Right, I know.
Listen, we expect you to score. You can run. You got good feet.
Yeah, he can scoot.
I will say that gray uniform makes him look bigger, though.
That is true. It's an
Right?
unflattering color for a big guy.
I was telling Eddie I thought he lost a little weight today. And Eddie said, I'm wearing a white shirt. Which normally when you wear a white shirt,
That's not a good.
it's not a good thing. But
Yeah.
I felt like he lost a little weight. But then you see Big Vogelback in that gray uniform yesterday from the side.
Yeah.
He's got some girth to him.
You know what Eddie was doing
He
yesterday?
looks like Max Garcia, the center. What?
You know what Eddie was doing yesterday?
No.
He was hanging out with someone that you know from the show specifically. And I saw a picture of the two of them together on social media, and it was
hanging
shocking.
out with Al?
He was not hanging out with Al.
You don't,
Jerry.
You didn't check your social media, your Twitter?
No, I did not.
Was not hanging out with Al or
Ed,
Jerry or CeeLo or Anthony Gallo.
Somebody,
or Spike.
Were you around the area? Where were you?
It was in New Jersey.
He was in New Jersey.
He was in New Jersey.
Down by where you live, or
Not far from where I live. A couple of towns up.
you were hanging with somebody that has something to do with the show?
Yeah.
I'm in
Anthony Gallo?
No,
No,
I'm in
no.
Edison.
Izzo?
I'm in Edison, which is exit 10.
Okay.
Go one exit up,
Yeah.
11.
And you run into a town called Carteret.
Oh, jeez. You were in Carteret to go see Dan in Carteret?
Well, I got a text from him, and he was trying to deliver something to the show or to the station, and he had reached out to two other people
Yeah.
who kind of said maybe and then ghosted him. So he reached out to me.
So, Al, you ghosted him.
Inadvertently, I just didn't check my Twitter fast enough, I guess.
So you've got gifts from Dan and Carteret, is what you're telling us?
Yes, right here. Stand by.
Oh, God. Well, why don't we do that a little bit later in the show?
Oh, we can do it when you get bored? Okay.
Yeah, when we get bored. Because we're not bored yet. We haven't
Oh, we
seen each
got
other.
a lot of things have
750.
happened. A lot of things that went down the last 10 days.
Right. Let's not waste it here.
Yeah,
all right, it is.
We just wasted literally 2 minutes.
Dan and Carteret and Eddie saw that picture. I'll show it to you in the break. It is Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network. Just getting started on this Monday morning.